Alright, I'm making a channel review of Adam Linkenauer over at VertFreak, VertFreak 101. If you're into dunking or jumping at all, you've probably heard of him. You've probably checked out his videos. His authority comes from being able to jump really high. He's like, yeah, basically, he's an elite 1 foot jumper. Without the ball, he can put his head like up at the rim, and he's about 6 foot, I think, about my height. So I mean, he's got the 48 running. He can do some pretty nice dunks off 1 foot. He also has bounce off 2 feet, though not as much. I mean, he can do windmills and 360s and stuff like that. Or he has, rather, he has videos of himself up doing it. So his authority really does come from his bounce, although I'll say that he does not jump as high off 2 as off 1. I'd say he's elite off 1 in his lifetime. I don't know about now. But off 2, he's just very good. Okay, so I'll keep that in mind when I go into my review. Not just a review of his channel, but I'm going to go into things, I wouldn't even call it disagreements. Philosophical... The things I think about that I think maybe he should add in, or, I mean, well, let's get down to it. Adam needs to, I really think, and everything I say is with love, because, this guy, I've looked at this guy's material for a couple years, I mean, I see his mission, and it's good, but I really think that he needs to talk about landings. I've gone through so much of his material, and he doesn't talk about landing technique. His whole thing is technique, jump technique. Where's the landing technique? That's vital, because, like, I'll tell you, Adam, or whether you're watching or people watch Adam's channel, I think his jump technique is fantastic. I don't think his landing technique is, though. Off 1 foot, it looks pretty good. Off 2 foot, it's a little bit clunky. But, I mean, basically, as we all know, injury... Like, why is dunking hard on our body, right? In a video, Adam said, like, he didn't think you should spend more than 40 minutes on the court actually jumping and dunking a week, if that. I would like to spend more than 40 minutes. If I could spend 40 minutes 3 days a week, that's awesome. And that's generally what I do without injury, without soreness. And the reason I'm able to do that is if you look at my, my dunk mixes, everything's a 2-hand hang and a drop down, if I can, or I roll out of it. Like, I really emphasize landing, and maybe it'll make you jump higher, but if anything, it'll just allow you to have more fun because you can spend more time on the court jumping. But I mean, I just think that, like, I think that Adam, I love his channel. His channel is not about, his stuff's not about landing, and I guess that's what mine is. But I'm not even trying to just corner that niche. I want to see Adam do that too, because he's got a big reach and he can reach a lot of people. He's got a lot of people he's inspiring to jump higher and train to jump higher. But if you can't land softer, your jumping higher is just going to be for waste. You're just going to hurt yourself, or be very limited in your ability to jump of maximum 40 minutes a week. Like, I don't know. So those are just some initial thoughts. I'll say off 1 foot, I'm not a very good 1 foot jumper. I can dunk a tennis ball. It's pretty pathetic. And Adam's stuff is pretty helpful for me. Off 2 foot, it's interesting because I have disagreements on technique from him. I have agreements in certain ways, but I have disagreements from him. But it really comes down to landing. First thing I'll say, though, is Adam gets higher than me off 2 foot, not way higher, though. Like, if you look at my 2 foot dunks and look at his 2 foot dunks, he gets a little bit higher, but not a crazy amount. So maybe if I, changed my form to be more like his, I would jump way higher. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'd be jumping immediately way higher than him. Maybe, I don't know. But so basically, like, Adam's, Adam Linkenauer at VertFreak, his 2 foot jump principles are similar to mine. Like, he wants the last 2 steps to come down, like, as close to at the same time as possible. mine don't come down as fast because I also place an emphasis on rotation. I want to rotate, and this is for landing, I want to rotate 90 degrees on my last step so that I can carry that momentum to a 90-degree rotation in the air so I can land backwards. And if I land backwards, I have a lot more landing options. I mean, check out my how Dwayne Wade lands, for example. Dwayne Wade will try to land backwards. I will try to land backwards. Landing backwards has more landing options. There's a lot more you can do to roll through the impact landing backwards. Now, by rotating 90 degrees, am I slowing down my jump? Maybe, but even if I am, do I care? Because do I care more about the landing? It's a tough call. I'll ask the question though, if by rotating 90 degrees am I giving up my ability to dunk because by rotating 90 degrees my last step has further to travel so it can't join in as quickly? Maybe, but I think that rotation can generate a lot of force, obviously through, if you ever throw a football or a baseball, rotating through the throw adds a lot of power. So I'm not convinced either way, but I am convinced that landing's important, and more people should be having discussions about it. Some thoughts. So and if you go on Google or YouTube and you look at some other elite dunkers, you'll see some differences in the way they jump. I'd say that my style is more like T-Dub from Team Flight Brothers. He gets more rotation, he gets more rotation. He does 540s and stuff like that pretty easily because he's naturally getting a lot of rotation and often landing backwards. And then if you look at someone like Justin Darlington, his jump is more like Justin Darlington also, or what is it, J Flight, I don't know his dunking name. It's more similar to Adams, and he's landing forward. But I mean, it's possible that I just need to get better at landing forward. I don't know. It's unclear, but I mean, those are my basic thoughts. Adam's channel is good stuff. It looks at technique. It looks at technique of how to jump without very much communicated consideration of landing. So, I mean, take that how you will. He jumps very high off one, incredibly high off one, and he jumps pretty solidly high off two as well. So, the guy definitely knows what he's talking about, but he doesn't necessarily communicate all of it. So, Adam, if you catch this video, I mean, I just say, thanks for what you do. You reach a lot of people, and I hope you, I would love to see you talk about landing technique, because I think that would make a huge difference and save a lot of people from injury.